is recording, and you got to just move a little bit closer. We got to move a little bit closer to each other there. Perfect. All right. So let's see.
This looks like a mouth guard. I kept thinking, but no, that's not what it is at all.
So let's see. We got the sound at 126, 127. Let's.
Nice.
And now we're rolling.
And I can talk at my normal.
Right.
Normal.
And then we just face the cameras. We got 2 cameras. So this is our trial run. I'm Erwin.
I'm Amanda.
And this is our test run for our podcast, Fight, Crush, Kill, which I think really speaks to
Oh
what
yeah.
we're after.
No, this is really exciting, and this is our first look at the gear, which is Christmas time.
It is. But let's maybe we'll talk a little. Well, why don't you introduce yourself? I'll introduce myself, and I mean.
Yeah. So I'm Amanda, and I guess you would say that I do a lot of shit. It's hard to. It depends on the day, but as a person, I'm curious and I want to learn, and I've had a lot of injuries, and I still want to crush life. So, us exploring ways to be better in my mind and in my body, and just a better human being in general, has been a huge part of our friendship. And we talk about epic shit a lot, so why not share that?
Yeah, totally. So, I mean, in that vein, we do have a lot of interests. We actually both happen to go to Columbia, and we both are athletes, and we actually even both went to BU, which was we didn't even realize until after we had
We're both
talked.
Asian-ish.
Yes.
So much.
I'm definitely, despite what people say, I am Asian. But you know, there's a whole, as Amanda said, we have a lot of different interests, and a lot of them mesh, and you know, a lot triathlon, athletics, fitness, but certainly a lot of the cognitive things that we're doing. You know, we like to explore the limits of human performance, not only like intellectually, but
Right.
I guess spiritually, and I mean, not necessarily in the whole religious sense, but really spiritual, the idea of spirituality, and then the idea of fighting, crushing, and killing, whatever it is we try and do.
Right.
We stick our arms in elbow deep, and
That's nicer than saying balls deep, I guess. For our intro, maybe we shouldn't go that far. I like to
Too
say,
late.
I have my fingers in lots of pies. It's like, which one do I want to suck on today?
Everybody loves pie. She's also a cordon bleu trained chef, so she literally means pies.
Real pies.
Real pies.
But no, I think the mindset, real pie is not, anyway, mindset, you know, the physical side of human performance, the mental, but also, look, we both look pretty darn good for our ages, if I may say so myself.
I'm 80. I'm 80, and
old balls.
Amanda here is
I'm 60.
60.
So,
It's
you know,
amazing.
looking good. It's the Asian, the greasy skin.
Yes. Tomorrow it may turn like there's a switch that turns on, and
I'm like
tomorrow
the Game
maybe.
of Thrones chick.
Yes, exactly.
When I take
Alessandra.
off my sports bra.
No CGI. That's not CGI.
Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day. So yeah, anyway, we have all this stuff in common, and just maximizing life is really
Totally.
like a baseline. But what you put in your body, like
The
as far as
foods,
food,
the supplements,
exactly.
the-
There's so much shit out there. It's like weed out some of, you know, if I wanted to get a supplement today of, let's say, digestive enzymes, like where the fuck would I start?
Right.
It's just, it can be very overwhelming. So.
And it's one of those things actually that we talk about frequently. Like, okay, so in all seriousness, I'm 49, going on 50. A lot of the things that we talk about now aren't just about like, oh, I'm in midlife or something like that. It's really about how do we both continue to do what we want to do and perform as well as we can, given the fact that we're 50. It's not a limiter, but it's a factor that like we're not 20. We don't recover the same way.
Right.
So how do we make sure that we get the
Absolutely.
most out of whatever it's doing? So, for example, for digestive enzymes, you have to take, or I've found that I have to take these things, and it helps digestion, helps, you know, maintain muscle mass, get the most out of what I'm eating, and things like that. And, you know, how do you hydrate? How do you do any of these things? How do you exercise? What is the best way to recover? Because, you know, when we were 20, we didn't have to, we could crush it and crush it and crush it and crush it, and then we didn't feel like we had any decrement in performance. We'd go to sleep, wake up the next morning, do great.
Right. Crush all over.
Right.
It's different now and I think that's the interesting thing because neither of us are in our athletic prime. Like, I'm not training for the Olympics. Like, this isn't the heyday of rescue swimming or anything like that. So we both want to totally crush it, but we understand that there are like different, you have to crush it differently and it doesn't have to just be, this is only for older people. These principles apply to anyone who wants to be better.
Totally. And I think the other thing is that, you know, we have very high standards for ourselves. You know, like, we know what we can do and what we've done in the past, and we'd like to be able to do it again. So while, you know, this coming year I'm going to train for 2 Ironmans. I'm going to do Kokoro with SealFit. You know, and Amanda, you just came off.
I just came off summiting Denali in Alaska, which was the shit.
Okay, now she's saying the shit, but you have to understand, she and her climbing partner Naomi were the first female, self-supported, non-guided team to summit, veteran females to summit Denali. Period. That is a first.
Ever.
And I mean, that's amazing. Like, how many things in this world can people say that they've done? And like, watching that evolution of, and now we've known each other, maybe like 5 years now, watching this evolution over time of, you know, this process of you deciding to get there. A year ago, you say you were going to do this. So now we've decided to, because we have all these similar interests, and we approach it, you know, like, you're a badass crushing female. I'm an older, decrepit dude. And I know some people watching this right now are gonna be like, you know, I gotta stop being so hard on myself. But that's really my jam. So, and I think that's part of what really keeps us going.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, in those 5 years, you've also, I know you've grown in just your ability to help coach people through things, but for meeting me and our first conversations revolving around, you know, I throw up every time I come off the Peloton bike, and, you know, those sort of conversations to, you know, going through, it was so fun to be on the Runner's World cover, stuff like that, and then seeing me be so injured and have 8 surgeries over the course of a year and a half. But then to kind of be like, okay, my comeback tour starts with Denali. And then, you know, luckily we had the opportunity and weather to summit, but just kind of, you know, coming full circle with this whole idea of goal setting and crushing and having high standards for yourself is just these are the sort of things that, you know, other people want to hear about, and why not share?
I'm endlessly fascinated about all those things, and I would love to do those things, but I don't know that, there's a certain level of commitment that I don't know that I have just yet. And I think that's one of the great things about, you know, us having this friendship and this relationship over the years is that, you know, I see this amazing ability and this drive to just go after it, to go get it. And then it reminds me of like, shit, I could be doing more. I could be like,
absolutely.
And then, yeah, I think we balance each other out very nicely.
For sure. And I remember from one of our earliest conversations when you suggested the trace minerals, because I needed electrolytes apparently, but I still, when I make my homemade French dressing, I whip in trace minerals. And I always think back to, I remember back in the day, and I think one of the first pictures I ever sent you.
I'm not sure what that, just in case.
One of the first pictures I ever sent him was all my barf in the toilet, because I was like, this keeps happening after I cycle.
And I'll tell you, as you know, as any of you long distance triathletes, or even shorter distance triathletes, or any athletes that have something in common with somebody, triathletes tend to talk about these things.
Right.
You know, like you don't talk about, like, I don't talk to my wife about them. She doesn't want to hear about it.
Right.
But other athletes, like, okay, so I'm having these gastrointestinal issues.
Oh, totally.
And it's not like, oh, this is disgusting,
Right.
or this is like, you know, who is this person telling me this?
Right.
There's already this common ground of like, you've suffered, I've suffered,
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what you're going through. This is what worked for me.
Yeah, dude, what is my poop is like this? What does it mean?
Right, exactly. Like, you're eating, you need enzymes to better digest fat, or
Right.
something like that.
But
And-
these are the conversations we can have.
right. And in
Easily.
all seriousness, and like I can't have that conversation with anybody, you know.
Right.
It's sort of funny, and but these are the things that I hope we'll be able to explore and,
Yeah, for sure.
and share with you guys and
Mm-hmm.
learn through this entire process. And you know, this is literally our first foray in all this, and we're going to share everything and post it all online with minimal editing, because frankly we don't know how to do any of that
Right.
stuff.
I'll learn at some point.
Right, and we have all this gear, and it's almost like we're fully committed. It's like we just dove right in. We're like, sure, why don't we take that? Like, what is that? What is that? 21 Jump Street. You just want to burst through the ceiling, burst through the ceiling.
Oh man, yeah. No, this is gonna be. I realized I didn't actually say anything about myself. So I was in the Navy. I was a rescue swimmer. You know, I studied archaeology. Just love the culture, the world, being athletic, like talking to people, learning things, expanding horizons. But a huge part of my life was being knocked down with injury.
Sure.
And it plays into a lot of my thinking, a lot of what I've had to reframe with mindset. But it doesn't define me in any way or take away from who I am. And I think that's another thing that you have realized throughout that whole treatment I went through was like this. I stayed the same person, the same goal oriented. Like I want to crush life. It was just a whole other aspect to take that time and be still and do this brain rehabilitation and not feel like a badass. It was hard on my self-confidence.
Right, and I think that also the other thing that we explore in this, yeah, sure, totally, that we explore in this entire process is this beginner's mind and this relearning of things and rediscovering of the things that we used to do. So a little background on me is I used to work on Wall Street for like a dozen years, left around the time my son was born, and then transitioned some of our projects so that I could do that, and geared my life around spending my time with my wife and my kids, and we both work, my wife and I, and how do we manage that? We have 2 kids, and just that entire process. So, I'm a father, I'm a husband, own some businesses, I'm a coach, but I'm also trying to be a lifelong learner, as are you, and the desire to actually go out there and still do the ridiculous physical things and
Right.
sort of relearn things, fall flat on my face, hopefully not get injured, but really try and create risk in our existence because it tends to be so safe.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And I think you just reminded me of, just kind of coming from this place of finding balance. And I'm not going to the next Olympics to compete. So it's not, like for me, bringing in these things that make me really happy, like fine food, and not fine food, but just good food, and wines and stuff like that. Like taking the time to give yourself what makes you happy, and the relaxation and the recovery side
Yes,
of things.
absolutely.
So important to find that balance.
Yeah, because now we have to, recovery is a huge thing, now, especially at this age, you have to really approach recovery. And I think that, frankly, that's the sort of undiscovered country with respect to human performance in every arena. It's the recovery. And so those are the things that we'll explore here, using all these gadgets that we have, all this tech, and really explore how those work together.
I'll guinea pig myself too.
Yes.
Happy to.
So, I think that's a decent intro, and then, we'll load that one up there and then just go from there, and then, we'll do it again tomorrow, and then we'll continue to do it.
Yeah.
And so, I'm traveling for the next couple of months, so we're actually going to see what this looks like as we do these things in parallel, and we'll connect over time, and then hopefully we can cross fingers, you'll come to Japan.
Yeah. I'm gonna be around this summer. I'm going on an adventure trip to El Salvador next week, But after I was out of town for 35 days for that Denali expedition, so I just want to spend some time here and learn how to use all this shit.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah,
So I'll be in Europe with the family. We're going to be for a month.
tough life.
Yeah. But we're going to share a lot of that process. Starting out in Cannes, going really high and low, really experiencing it like the Griswolds did in Family Vacation, trucking around Europe and recording all these things, and then going to Japan for a month. And interspersed there, I'm going to go down to Georgia with the kids, with some family friends of ours, and take the kids shooting.
Wait, Georgia, United States, or Georgia, the country?
United States. Teaching them about gun safety. We'll go wakeboarding, wake surfing, do all these things. Just reconnect with nature and actually really get a nice dichotomy of really all the different things we're about. Like this idea of what we're looking at for, this exploration around fitness and
right.
crushing, and then also, our intellectual pursuits, here at Columbia with the neuroscience and the coaching program and journalism and all the things that we're doing, and then, putting it into application.
Oh, yeah.
How it works for you, how it works for me.
Absolutely, because these things work differently for everybody. But I think goal setting. I think of fight, crush, kill. Like kill meaning set out to do something and accomplish it.
Yes.
It can be on an athletic level. It can be on a mindset level. So in case anyone was scared away about fight, crush, kill, we're coming from the best place, right, with that.
Somewhere down the road, she's going to be a boxer. I'm taking Muay Thai, and we're going to actually get in the ring, and first of all, she's going to clearly destroy me. There's zero doubt about that.
Yeah, no guarantees that I will not kill somebody at some point.
Yes, and hopefully it's not me, and she means figuratively kill somebody. But yeah, those are all the things that we'll explore, and I think that's the great thing is like, I look up to you and your ability to really crush and like do these amazing things, and like you're a really well-rounded person. You have all these different interests. It's not one note. It's like you're not just an athlete. You're also you're an intellectual. You're a veteran. You're a chef, and those are things that I'd like to emulate in my life as well. Have more of a well-rounded experience, and also be a beginner.
Oh, absolutely. Well, if we're gonna give compliments, I mean, especially the past 4 or 5 years, this journey I've been on has been enhanced by our friendship and your almost a mentor capacity, especially in the mindset category, which I think for me was a test. It was the hardest test that I've ever had as far as mindset goes, but to have not only someone who seemed like a cheerleader, but whose perspective is so in line with what mine is, but in that moment was, because I was starting to lose that a little bit, and just having these conversations and getting my monkey on the island. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, these are all things that we're gonna unpack. There's so much. I mean, there's so much we've experienced over the last 5 years or so, and we'll unpack them in degrees and share them with you as we go along, because there's a lot of learning to be done here.
Yeah, and it's good stuff. And we've been saying for a while, we have these epic conversations, or as I like to call them, let's have a sesh, SESH. It's like we should be recording this shit, because
totally.
like a lot of good stuff comes up. And I have very few people where when I leave a conversation, I'm still ruminating the rest of the day on, oh yeah, and this, and I have notes that are just all this, like things I actually want to follow up on. So that's been the nature of our relationship. So we might as well share some of this goodness.
Agreed. And we're gonna try and be an open book and share everything, and
show me your titties.
and hopefully you'll find it interesting. So that's that. Hopefully that gives you a little idea about fight, crush, kill, and what we're about. And that's how we still like sign off on texts and emails.
Right.
It's fight, crush, kill.
Or hey friend, I'm coming from a satellite phone on the mountain. I think we're gonna summit in the next couple days. Fight, crush, kill.
Exactly.
Roger that. Enough said.
And it's sort of shorthand, like, so we know what we're doing. But, you know, that's cool. So we'll check this out. Hope you guys enjoy it. We'll post it pretty much unedited and go from there.
Uncensored.
Uncensored.
Dangerous.
All right, cool. So we're out, and it's, so I'll hit these first, and then we'll hit the sound. Cool. Oh, card full. That's all right. That's why we have a backup of this thing right here. Sweet.